Hello and welcome back to my money lessons. I'm Dr. Charity of Wealth Agent. A lot of people are making fortune through rental income. So rental income can be a lot more than the other passive income sources we discussed previously. However, there are a lot of things you should know and keep in mind as you make that decision to invest for rental income. So join me in this lesson as we discuss those important points. So, this is the number 6 in our income series, and we will be discussing rental income. But here is the question: should you be a landlord? To help you answer that question, it is better to invest in an asset that generates income more than the expenses that you incur. So, income in this sense can come in form of capital gains or cash flow. So there's a separate video on capital gains. So if you're interested in learning on how to invest for capital gains, I will put the link to that video in the description box. So tap on it to watch if you are interested. But for the purpose of this lesson, we will be discussing rental income, which is actually income in form of cash flow. Okay, so it is better to invest in an asset that generates income of any kind. However, when you own a house or an apartment and you make it available for renting or leasing, you are investing for rental income, and the income you receive from renting out or leasing your house or an apartment is your rental income. So that property generates rental income for you. Again, you can gain positive cash flow. It is very possible for you to gain positive cash flow. In fact, like I said in the introduction, a lot of people are making fortune through rental income. So it is possible for you to gain positive cash flow. That means when you have taken care of all the expenses, we'll get to that in a bit, but when you take care of all your expenses from the rental income you received, the difference is your cash flow. So you can gain a positive cash flow after you must have taken care of your expenses. So that is a big thing. If you're able to gain positive cash flow from from renting out or leasing out your apartment, it's one of the reasons you should consider investing for rental income. Here is another important thing. I love this so much: depreciation advantage. Okay, so depending on what part of the world you live in, tax code makes it possible for you to depreciate your property for over 27.5 years, for about 27.5 years. So that means the useful life of that property is assumed to be about 27.5 years. So you can depreciate and expense those your properties every year for 27.5 years. So after 27.5 years, you must have depreciated the value of your asset. You must have expensed them out. But the good thing is, even though your property technically might not worth anything, you must have expensed it out, you must have accounted for them in your expenses. The value of that house, the market value, might be increasing, but in the eyes of the tax guys, your market does no longer value. It does not have any value whatsoever. So that is a good thing. It's a good tax advantage to actually put your house, own a property and put it out for rental. So you are basically receiving rental income from there, and you can also take advantage of the tax code and depreciate that out over 27 years. So that's a good thing for you to consider. However, it might not always be as easy as you think to actually make a living from rental income. Not that it's not done, it is done, but there are a lot of things you need to consider, and we are going to go over those points here. So the first thing you need to keep in mind is the huge capital requirements. So if you already own a property that you can put out for rental or for leasing, good for you. You do not have to worry about the huge capital requirements to get started. So is it that you have the money or the funding to actually purchase your rental property outrightly? Or if you do not have the funding, you can obtain a loan. So remember, you need huge capital requirement to actually purchase the house, the property that you are going to put out for rental or for leasing. So you either purchase outrightly or you can obtain a loan. So that's number one. So number two is the ongoing expenses. So it's not enough to just have a property and put it out for rental or for leasing. You have to continuously maintain the house. Okay, you have to continuously incur other expenses that go with the house. First is the mortgage. So this mortgage is in some cases, right? So if you purchase your house outrightly, you do not have to worry about this because you do not owe anyone. But if you obtained a loan in order to purchase the property, you have to pay the loan back in form of mortgage. Okay, so you're paying the loan amount back, or plus interest in form of mortgage. So this is one expense you should be prepared for every month. So the second one is insurance. You buy insurance to protect your property. So keep in mind of the insurance premiums that you have to be paying every month or every year, as the case may be. So this counts also as part of the ongoing expenses you should keep in mind when you're buying or investing for rental income. So the other point is property tax. So you have to always pay taxes on your property, whether you owned it, you bought it outrightly, or you obtained a loan to buy it. So be prepared to pay property taxes on that property, even if you've paid it off. So it's one of the expenses you cannot run away from. Okay, so here is another one: management and maintenance. So these are the things that you continuously come across. So management and maintenance. So you have to continuously manage your rental property to make sure that your tenants are paying, right? To make sure everything is going on well. And then maintenance, things can happen. So you have to continuously maintain your rental property so that it can become appealing to your prospective tenants. All right, so this management and maintenance can actually cost you a lot of money on ongoing basis. So, and it can also take a lot of your personal time. So it can take a lot of your personal time when you actually do these things yourself, when you actually manage and maintain the house yourself. And in order for you to do that successfully, you have to have the skills and the wherewithal to actually manage and maintain your house personally. In terms of maintenance, you have to have the skill, the handyman kind of skills to actually do one or two things in your house yourself, and that can save you a lot of cost. But the thing is, it's going to take a lot of your personal time. So if you do not have the skills or the wherewithal to actually manage and maintain your house yourself, then you have to pay management companies to manage the house for you, and you also have to pay some maintenance guys to actually do the maintenance for you as the need arises. Okay, so keep that in mind. So there is also a likelihood of vacant rental spaces. This is very, very possible. So some tenants can move in or move out. So within that time where tenants move out and before you actually fill that space in, you can have vacant rental spaces, and that could mean unexpected breaks in your income stream. So build that into your plan. If you're thinking about investing for rental income, keep in mind that there will be opportunities or possibilities of vacant rental spaces, and when that happens, there will be unexpected breaks in that income stream that you had planned for. So the last part is the possibility of irregular income streams. So I say irregular because some of these expenses we've talked about they can vary from month to month. They can vary from year to year. So this month you might have very little to worry about, and next month you might have a lot of things that you need to spend on. So because they vary, your income stream will become irregular, because these are all taken care of from the rental income you receive from your tenants. Okay, so in summary, why a lot of people are making fortune through rental income, you too can. However, note that in order for you to be able to make the kind of living you would expect from rental income, you will need to have a lot of properties. Yes, because sometimes the bottom line always comes very little. So you need to have a lot of properties in order for you to make the kind of living you would expect. But don't forget that your rental properties have the potential to yield capital gains income when they appreciate in value. So, should you be a landlord? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So thank you, and I will see you in my next video.